Welcome in, everyone. It is Tuesday night, which means one thing and one thing only on the Going for Two Live Network. It is time for the Fantasy Cheat Sheet. But before we get to the guys, we got to hit the video. Let's do this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Like I said, it is the Fantasy Cheat Sheet, the Week 4, post-Week 3, whatever you want to call it edition. What is up, guys? Jamie, what is up this evening?
I just want to give a shout out to Anthony Servino. He's the founder of FF Face Off. I just want to say happy birthday, brother. This one's for you. You're deeply missed by all your followers and your colleagues. Just RIP, man. This faith's for you.
R.I.P. Anthony. Jordan, what is up, my dude?
Not much, man. Week 3 was another mixed bag for
God
me.
dang it.
It was fine on some leagues, bad in others. Looking ahead to waivers and talking as we preview Week 4.
And Raul.
Good to see you guys. I'm kind of the same wave as Jordan. I feel like it's down, up, and down, and we're very much in the thick of things now. Looking forward to tonight's show.
Yeah, I have some that were close. I have some that I lost because stupid garbage time last night, and I would have won if the Mark Andrews touchdown was 7 yards shorter. Stupid crud like that. Well, let's get into it. There was a lot going on. This weekend, we had a lot of injuries. We're going to talk about Monday Night Football, but let's just get into a lot of the news. There's one big piece of news that we will discuss as a group that is not injury-related, but other than that, there's a lot of injuries that will go around the horn real quick, get them hammered out so we can talk about the rest of the week. So first off, I'm going to get to the show sheet where I have it. All right. Mike Evans, his hamstring injury. Jamie, how many weeks is it? They said 3 to 6, right?
I think it's like 3 to 4 last
3
I
to
heard.
4, yeah, 3 to 4 weeks for Mike Evans. Raul, what do you think about this for them as a team overall, and anything else you want to bring up?
It's a huge blow for Mike Evans. Yeah, timeline-wise, 3 to 4 is what I saw as well, though they are optimistic he will miss fewer games or not more games than what he did with a similar injury last year. That was 3, but with a bye week in there, so you could call it 4 weeks. But luckily, it doesn't seem to be an IR candidate, but it has to go down as a big miss. Even with the emergence of Emeka Egbuka, last year the Bucks lost all 3 games that Mike Evans didn't play, and they're set to play the Eagles, Seahawks away from home, and then 49ers is the third game. So a tough run out coming without one of their key players. They're already down so many wide receivers. Perhaps look to Cade on the tight end, who hasn't really done too much this year. Someone will step up. He had a few games last year, but as far as Mike Evans goes, man, it is a big miss for the Bucks and for Baker Mayfield's ceiling.
Yeah, do you think do you think they'll lean on Bucky and Rashad a little bit more?
I definitely think so, Mike. Yeah, I mean, Bucky, I don't have the stats in front of me. I know he had 25 carries and I quite a few targets as well. So that it would be smarter than to lean on that run game. Yeah, like I said, Emeka, only 3 games into his career, has had a lot of flashes, but he's still a very, very young player. And they probably will look to be a little more balanced than we've seen the Bucks of the last couple of years.
Yeah, the other high-profile wide receiver that is out is CD Lamb, high ankle sprain, 4 to 6 weeks. Jordan, I know this puts a damper on that offense and Dak, importantly. What else? Bring it all up.
I think this helps Jake Ferguson, and we kind of saw that this past week. He was getting peppered, a lot of short area stuff, quick stuff. And they'll need that coming up playing against the Packers this week. Micah Parsons is going to be getting after the quarterback. Like you mentioned, it hurts Dak a lot. I feel like you could tell they were trying to rely on George Pickens, but it just seems like he's not a number one for them. he's going to get more targets, and that's going to help him a little bit as well. But I think Jake Ferguson is the biggest beneficiary of it all. And then also Javonte Williams. I think in the red zone, Lamb was a target. Without him, I think they may look to run even more in the red zone than they were before. So I think it helps the run game, and Jake Ferguson are some of the biggest guys to benefit. But I don't want to start Dak if I have him, really. They play the Packers this week, and then they have the Jets, I believe, followed by Carolina and Washington. I think CD isn't an IR candidate as of now, so he likely won't miss more than 4 games. So it's not too long term, but in this short span of time, I don't really want to start Dak at all in any of these matchups.
No, in one QB leagues, I think he's a
Yeah, for sure.
non-start for sure. Superflex, you're going to have to start
You're
him
gonna have
probably.
to,
But
yeah.
like I have him in a 14-team Superflex. Like he has to be started. But you brought up Jake Ferguson, 21.2 fantasy points this week. You ain't going to see that again. But yeah, for sure, that's a rough one. All right, so let's get into. There's one that I don't have written on the show sheet that I will bring up because I just remembered a few minutes ago that I need to bring it up shortly. But James Conner, running back for the Arizona Cardinals, ankle injury, out for the season. It looked bad right when it happened. We knew it was bad right when it happened. Jamie, you wanted to talk about this one, so I'm just going to give you the floor for a couple.
Yeah, this one definitely hurts for the actual Cardinals team and people's fantasy teams because people that went 0 RB might have grabbed James Conner
as their one.
as their one, yeah. And even if you grabbed him as your 2, you're probably hurting now even more. We might even see this as a career ender for him. He's already at that age where it's going to be hard for him to come back. If he does come back, he's definitely not getting a full-time job back. So I think for fantasy football, he is donezo.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Question for you, Jamie. For this year, I know your brain is really on Dynasty, but in Dynasty, but mainly for this year, are you buying Benson?
Yeah, I'm trying. I put a few offers out for him. I think I even sold Chris Godwin straight up for him. I think that was a little bit of an overpay, but I don't think I was going to get a better deal.
I agree that it might have been a little bit of an overpay, but knowing how you play, you're only making that move.
Yeah, it's like so. My second running back, I did have Connor on that team. My third running back is Montgomery, so he's going to be plugged in. But behind that, like I'm still waiting on Caleb Johnson in that league. A few more, Roshan Johnson, people like that. So definitely need someone now. So I put out like offers for Scatabo. I put offers for Trey Benson, and yeah, so I got Trey Benson.
If I could just share a quick story, I'm playing in 1 points per first down league. It's my only one, and my running back room was, it still is, but was Josh Jacobs, James Conner, David Montgomery, and Cam Scattaboo. And it was a very, very certain type of build that I was like, yeah, those are guys that are getting you the first downs. And unfortunately, we lost one of the 4 horsemen there, but we got Cam Scattaboo taking his life force and turning those into fantasy points. But
hey, he'll be talked
James
about.
Conner.
Scattaboo will be talked about later. All right, so there is two more real quick injuries I want to bring up. One, Terry McLaurin, uncertain this week with a quad injury. Jordan, what does this do for that team? Already missing Jaden Daniels, possibly, and this passing game.
I think it's really up in the air because I read he was getting second opinions on it. So when you hear that, that's obviously could be serious.
Worse,
but as far as the passing game goes, I mean, obviously no deep shots. Everything's condensed. Zach Ertz becomes like one of the top targets. Debo didn't flourish like I thought he would in this last game. They were using him more as a running back. But I think if Daniels plays, that obviously helps the offense overall. But with Mariota and down McLaurin, we're gonna see a lot of running. I would imagine a lot of read option stuff, throws to Zach Ertz and some of the running backs.
Yeah, they can just decide which running back they freaking want to use. Use Bill. I'm telling you right now, use Bill.
No, this is going to definitely help Jeremy Nick Nichols,
I
the
know
guy
it
I
is.
told everyone to pick up last week.
Hey, I have him on a couple teams, but I also don't have him in Dynasty, and I have Bill on 2. So give me Bill so I can sell him even more. All right. The last injury that I want to bring up, season ender. We don't need to talk about it too long because it's been 4 or 5 days, and or a few days, and everyone's talked about it. We knew right away when Najee Harris went down, torn Achilles, kind of knew it right away. For a guy who didn't miss a game when he was in Pittsburgh, to have what happened in the offseason and then have this happen, it just seems like karma's there. Raul, real quick. Besides, we don't want to talk too much about the running back situation because Hampton will be brought up later, but just talk about Najee going down.
Yeah, they knew immediately and then confirmed in the last couple of days a full Achilles tear. Very, very hard one to recover from. Najee's still on the younger side, even though he came in as an old rookie. But really, you have a little more faith that he returns than Connor, but that injury is a little bit more serious. So devastating blow. But we'll certainly talk about the beneficiary of the vacated Najee touches in a little bit today.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. All right. So, Jamie, I left this one for last and not for the front of it for a reason. Because you've been clamoring to me about a certain player that's a player in the NFL since before April and May. I don't personally think it might be the right time for certain reasons, which we will get into. But I'm letting you go first on this one. We are all talking about this one. Then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this show. Russell Wilson has been benched for
Yes.
Jackson Dart. It is Dart season. I see the smile on your face. The floor is yours.
All I got to say, it's about freaking time. And now everyone is going to see my bold take that I had.
Yeah.
Raul, you know this from all our
Yeah.
fantasy talk.
And I
But
know about
Jackson
it.
Dart is a better fantasy quarterback than Cam Ward, and we're about to start seeing it now. Everyone laughed at me. It was like, "Oh, you're crazy." I'm like, how? He's tied to Malik Neighbors. Like, the quarterback coach is going to set him up nicely, and he is one of the most best designed quarterbacks for runs. So unleash him, man. Unleash him.
Is it raining in LA?
I'll be right back.
It just started pouring. Jordan, take it away.
Not over here.
I don't know if it was about time to use. I mean, it was only week 3. I felt like it was kind of early, but at the same time, I mean, Russell Wilson, you know what you're gonna get from him. Why not try the young guy? They lost the last couple of games, so get him out there. He looked good in the preseason, and I obviously take from that what you will, but they're not going anywhere. They wanted to try the young guy. I guess that's better than him sitting the whole year. So we'll see what he has. I mean, I think he could be good for fantasy. He provides some rushing ability as well. He ran for a touchdown in the preseason. So we can see how just no harm in seeing what he has.
Raul, will you please go?
I am as excited, I think, as everyone to see Jackson Dart. JV was very, very high on him for a long time, and something that I listening to him rose on him as well, because his game is perfect for fantasy football. I think Dable, he got himself in this situation because not only in preseason, he had a completely different playbook for Jackson Dart that he did for Russell Wilson, one that was more expansive, hurry up, a lot more deep shots. Then all this nonsense about getting packages in for Jackson Dart. You're hearing the crowd cheer when Dart comes on, boo, and Russell Wilson comes back on the field. All roads led to this. We talked about it last week. Real or fake, the Russell Wilson, the Giants passing attack. We definitively said fake. Part of that, I mean, proven for sure, but part of that reason was in the upcoming schedule. This hasn't changed. They still play the Chargers, the Eagles twice, the Broncos, and the Niners. They have the Saints as well. So maybe, a first win for either of those teams. But let's see how this experiment goes. I think it's going to be exciting, but I don't know how successful it's going to be in the short term. I don't know if this is the kind of move that even saves Dayball his job if they end up like 2-15. So, but I'm very interested to see how it goes.
All right, so I did not know how I was going to feel on this one right when I saw the news. Like, don't get me wrong. For the future of Jackson Dart, great. Jamie, I do not think this is the right move. Period. Because of what Raul just brought up. Chargers, Eagles, Saints, Eagles, 3 out of the next 4 games. Broncos. Then I think there's another game. Then they play Packers and Lions. You don't think Michael Parsons is going to eat Jackson Dart for breakfast and then throw a triple 20? The problem is not Jackson Dart. That's not the problem. The problem is the offense. For God's sakes, you bring him, Raul, you brought it up. You bring him in for packages, and he doesn't even throw the ball. Like, he's not going to throw the ball, so, you can do whatever you want to do as a defense. He's going to be good. No, Brian Daboll's not going to save his job, and that's kind of what scares me is him and Joe Sheen. Joe Sheen should have been fired the minute he screwed up the freaking Barkley thing on Hard Knocks offseason. But they both screwed that up. I don't think it saves his job. What I think they should have done is, do I think that he should have been benched? Maybe. Should they have given him another game? It's only 3 games. You had the Dallas game, whatever. I think they should have brought Jameson. And then bring Dart in after that super tough stretch in like week 9, week 10, after like 6 or 7 games, then put him in, give him, because if you put him in now and he fails against that tough schedule, that's not going to be good for the mojo and the look of, and then they're going to be like, well, what is Dable? Dable can't help this guy out. And that's the problem I see. So trust me, Jamie, I like Dart. I just don't think this is the right move at the right time. Jameis is who should be in there because Jameis would also help Neighbors.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just excited to see the kid play.
I know you are, and I 100%.
But you guys made great points.
Excitement.
Seriously, great points. Maybe they should have waited until week 8 or 9 after the bye. But what if he comes in? What if he is serviceable? What if he does win one of those 4 games? We'll see. It's what ifs.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get straight into it. Let's just push it along. So I'm not going to talk too much about the outcome. Last night, Detroit Lions beat the Baltimore Ravens. What a game. Might be the best game of the year so far. And Jamie, your takeaway, just what you put in the show sheet only, proves what I just said. Take it away.
Yeah. So what if this was a preview of the Super Bowl? Like both teams are very strong contenders. The Lions, one of the NFC's like top offenses with Jared Goff, St. Brown, J-Mo, Laporta, 2 elite running backs, plus a strong offensive line. Their defense has improved, making them an actual legitimate threat. And then you got the Ravens. They're consistently elite under John Harbaugh. They got Lamar Jackson is playing like an MVP level player, and their defense can be strong. Derrick Henry, he can carry this team on his back. Like in the run game, like they just need to give him more touches. Last night, they didn't do that. Now with Andrews getting more involved, Isaiah Likely is going to be coming back. Then you got like Flowers, Bateman. They could be serviceable weapons, plus the veteran presence in Hopkins. I think both these teams can be in the Super Bowl, and it'll all come down to the actual health of the team heading into the playoffs. And if I was a betting man, which I am, I'm going to bet the Ravens beat them in the big game.
All right, Raul, what do you think about his statement?
I mean, could it be a preview of the Super Bowl? For sure. I'm a little less confident that this is a preview than I was before a snap had been taken, because now we've seen the Ravens in 2 high pressure games out of 3 kind of crumble in the face of that pressure, letting up 2 96 and 98-yard touchdown drives. I mean, the Lions, this is what Dan Campbell does, right? Like, he just plays bully ball, and he beat the curse word out of the Baltimore Ravens at home. I'm a little less in on the Ravens. Like, after that performance, it's gonna they're gonna need to bounce back, you know, with a statement, because we've seen them time and time and time again over so many years choke in the biggest moments. Not that yesterday was a choke as much as the Bills game, but there was something about the way the line just really put foot to another curse word that soured me just a little bit on the Ravens.
Foot to arse.
To arse, that would have passed.
So Jordan, kind of piggybacking off, but this is a great segue. What do you think about the Lions?
Yeah, going into the season, there were kind of question marks. You lose 2 coordinators who became head coaches, and I particularly was worried about the offense, what it would look like. But after the Bears game, a lot of people, myself included, was like, okay, it's the Bears. The Bears defense is banged up. It's not good. I wanted to see what they looked like against a good team overall, and no, I have no more questions about their offense. They ran the ball at will. They were able to get it going in the passing game as well. Now, the Ravens were missing key pieces on the defensive line, Kyle Van Noy and Matabuke. So, the pass rush wasn't what we would normally expect. But still in all, the way that they were able to run the ball, the way they were able to just move the ball on offense, I have no more questions about them. It was on the road as well. Normally, Jared Goff only plays really well at home, but this was a road game, so they kind of checked off a couple of boxes for me that kind of showed me that game last week wasn't. The game against the Bears wasn't a fluke, and they're for real from a fantasy perspective and from real football perspective as well.
Yeah, for absolutely. Jamie, you already talked a lot about the Lions in general, but did you have concern like Jordan? Did you have concerns about their offense because of the coordinators, and is that solved in your brain?
Yeah, I just didn't know what it was going to look like, and now after this game, I'm not worried about it anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
That's all I can
exactly.
say.
For sure.
Raul, why don't you talk about the other side of the ball for a minute?
Yeah. I mean, after 2 weeks of this year, one of the best values on the board looked like Baltimore Ravens wide receiver Zay Flowers. He was very close to turning the heads of some doubters, including a couple of us on this panel. But in classic Zay Flowers fashion, he only had 2 for 13 on 3 targets, as some other receiving pieces, made their real season debuts, should I say. Mark Andrews, 6 for 91 and 2 touchdowns and 6 targets. Rashad Bateman, 5 for 63 and 1 on 7 targets. This is what we saw from Zay Flowers time and time again last year. And I think maybe we pumped the brakes a little bit as ranking. Like, people were, and I wouldn't have disagreed. Like, people were ranking him inside the top 12 wide receivers. And I think we just need to know that this kind of game can happen. Even a script that you would think is very conducive for a Flowers boom game, he still has a little bit to go. And maybe, again, it's just like that, how that offense functions. But I don't know if you can consistently pencil him in as a top 12 receiver. He's going to be that boom bust guy who has those ceiling games, but can also, disappoint from time to time.
Jamie, I said this after week 1, and it finally, Jamie, when he came out in week 2, I was like, please don't keep being a trend. So this actually made me smile a little bit, because I passed on him in that big league I joined, and I was regretting it. So yeah, hopefully for Baltimore and for their hopes that it goes up, but
And wasn't it week 2? I had Flowers as a fake for his big game.
Yeah.
So,
I think after week, yeah. after week 1, the first week. you
Going
had
into
as a
week
fake.
2. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he went and he doubled down on it. All right. So for my takeaway, a lot's been said about both offenses, but I'm going to add a little bit more. And I'm glad Jordan didn't go completely in on what I wanted to bring up. So that's why I didn't put it on the show sheet, because I was just going to pivot a little bit. Sonic and Knuckles. Going into this year, everyone thought, last year Montgomery kept scoring at will. But through the first 2 weeks, he had 22 attempts, 82 yards rushing, and 1 touchdown. But the 82 yards and 22 attempts was what was not worrisome, but the 82 yards was kind of like, he did have 5.2 yards per attempt in week 2 against the Bears, partly because they're whooping the Bears' ass. And in the game that they lost to
Packers.
Jordan's Packers, he only averaged 2.3, and his long was 6. Don't get me wrong. I know there was a very, very long play last night, but he had 12 carries, 151 yards, 12.6 yards per attempt, 72. That one was a 72, but he had 2 touchdowns on top of it. That's the other key. He came back with the 2 touchdowns. You take that one out, he would have had 11 attempts for around 90 or 80, but that's still 30 yards more than he had in week 2, and the 2 touchdowns. He only had 1 catch. He had 4 catches, surprisingly, against Green Bay. Like I said, that was behind. Then you go to Jameer. Jameer had 67 yards yesterday on 22 rush attempts. Now, that's a lot for Jameer. He had more rush attempts yesterday than he had combined in week 1 and 2. He had 5 receptions on 6 targets for 32 yards. He also had 2 touchdowns yesterday. Sonic and Knuckles is not gone. I did hear people say, and part of my concern about Sonic and Knuckles was exactly what you brought up, Jordan, was Ben Johnson being gone. And I didn't know with the new coordinator situation if Sonic and Knuckles would still produce, and it proved last night when they need to, they can produce.
I am
Yeah.
pissed at David Montgomery for scoring that last touchdown, because then that led to Mark Andrews
Yes,
getting those extra
agree.
points. Gave me a L. If he would have just slid, all would have been well.
Well, did you see Goff's face?
Goff
Was pissed, and then
and then he started celebrating after.
Well, then he started celebrating, and then when he's on the sidelines after that, and then they come back and they score that touchdown during the onside kick, Goff had looked like he saw a ghost.
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh no, we're here. All right, so we are done with Monday Night Football takeaways, which means one thing, and one thing only, boys. It is time for Real or Fake. Jamie, we alluded to your reel earlier in the night without saying it was yours. So talk about it, my man.
Yeah, I want to talk about Amari and Hampton. Now, listen, this kid is the real deal. Like, he's getting the touches, he's seeing the targets, he's making plays. He's defenses won't be able to keep this guy contained going forward. Early down work, red zone carries, third downs, he's everywhere. Now with Najee out of the way, I'm not worried about Hassan Haskins or Hank Aaron's nephew, Kamani Vidal, taking snaps from him. And the best part, he's explosive. Like, the past week isn't just a flash in the pan. Like, Hampton is he's earning every single snap, and going forward, he's going to be the guy that you can't ignore. You have to plug in the lineups week after week. I know, Raul, you know this from our Dynasty talk. I keep saying this, but I know you remember me saying on our show, at the end of the day, there might not be much of a difference between Ashton Genty and Amari and Hampton. And it wouldn't surprise me if Hampton going forward this year outscores Genty every single week. So I had Hampton as my Dynasty running back 4 going into the season. He's still my running back 4 in Dynasty. Yeah, I was a little bit worried because of that early usage he was getting, but he just proved this week that he could be a top running back. He just has so much upside. What do you think?
Yeah, so I definitely think that it's all his now. Najee Harris, for the last two games, was looking like he was going to be a threat for more touches. Obviously, the unfortunate injury, but now Hampton can kind of play freely, not worried about some guy breathing down your neck for carries. He started looking good. They got him involved in the passing game. I think it's only up from here. I mean, he's a young player. They tend to get better as the season goes on. So I don't have hardly any shares of him in redraft, so that kind of sucks. But I definitely think moving forward, he can be a RB high in RB2, low in RB1, possibly for the rest of the season.
Yes, perfect.
All
Just want to
right,
say what's up to Kyle. What's up, Kyle?
Yeah, what's up, Kyle?
Hey,
What's up,
Kyle.
All right, Jamie. I am actually surprised you put this on the show sheet.
You can't be surprised.
Well, I'll kind of am, not because of the topic, but I can't believe you're actually making Jordan relive this game. Take it away, sir.
So my fake for the week is the Browns win. So hear me out. Like the Browns pulled off that impossible win. Like they were down by 10 points, under 4 minutes left. Let's see, Cleveland, they bounced back to beat them, 13-10, ending Green Bay's insane 300 game streak of never losing with a double-digit lead that late in the game. 300 games, and the Browns did it. Like Cleveland's offense has been struggling all year, but that defense and special teams pulled off that comeback. Like the Browns rookie kicker hit that 35-yard field goal to make it 10-3. Then Grant Delpit picked off Jordan Love, set up that Judkins touchdown. So now they're tied at 10. The Packers had a chance to retake the lead, but then blocked kick from McManus, was that the kicker's name? McManus, 43-yard attempt. I don't even know the guy's name who blocked it, but then the Browns rookie kicker kicked a 55-yard game winner as time expires. So like Browns' first win of the season and possibly their only win all year. Let's be real. This felt a whole lot more like the Packers handing it away than the Browns actually taking it. So Matt LaFleur, he coached scared all game. Then there was mistakes by Jordan Love. They had weird play calling, that simulated substitution penalty. Like, what the heck was that? Short field, easy setups. Like the Browns offense wasn't really marching up and down the field at all. And they were just catching in on those Packers mistakes. And the offense was actually like struggling to even cash in on the mistakes. And this is why I really refuse to believe that the Browns organization is actually built to win, because like long term, they're still holding on to the Massage Watson's contract. They're already hyping Dylan Gabriel taking Joe Flacco's job, and that's not really a master plan right there. And to top it off, they drafted the biggest loser in the draft as their number 3 quarterback just to stir up more controversy. So yeah, like the box score says a W, but this is one of those fake wins to me. It's the kind where you're happy in the moment as a fan, but deep down, nothing is really fixed. And at this rate, the Browns don't need game plans. They just need the other team's blooper reels. And they might actually set a record for the most W's earned off of their opponent's screw-ups.
Roll, will you start talking?
After that, such a passionate statement by our resident Cleveland Browns fans, viewers. Don't forget that.
Oh, Jason in chat called me a hater.
I already put that. I already had that up for like 30 seconds of your rant.
This is just that kind of thing that's like, man, we really don't know what is going to happen in the NFL week to week. Like, who could have predicted this going in? Win feels fake from both the Browns being a team that good and the Packers losing to a team that bad. But I do want to comment on two things that I do think are real. One, that defense is absolutely real, led by big number 95. If you're having some tiebreakers and you see one of your players playing against the Cleveland Browns, maybe consider giving the start to the other guy. The second one, the one I'm more excited to talk about, Quinshawn Judkins. I think this guy is very real. 18 carries for 94 yards and a touchdown. He's had maybe 5 practices with a team and he's coming and doing this already. I think he's very much in like RB2 consideration moving forward. And he showed, I think what's most impressive about what Judkins has done is, yes, this was a pretty close game. The Browns might not be liable to be in such close games, but we just talked about the defense. I think shows he can overcome a bad situation, a low-scoring offense, and still provide fantasy relevancy. So I think both the Browns defense and Quinshawn Judkins are very real, even if this whole Browns beating the Packers is a little bit fake for sure.
So I just want to say, Jason, even though they win, I still complain. Well, yeah, because this is going to take away from a higher draft pick. We're not going to make the playoffs. We're not even going to win 5-6 games. So why win this one and then ruin our chance at a better draft pick?
All right. So it is time for Jordan's. I realized I just made a mistake on the show sheet, so I am going to have to change a couple names around, so be aware of that. So I'll just call you guys out. I have Jordan down to talk about as a guy.
Yeah.
Jordan, will you talk about your reel?
Yeah, I hate to, the Browns beating the Packers, me kind of having to rely on Daniel Jones. It just seems like a weird night. But I'm gonna say my reel this week was Michael Pittman. I think he's the number one receiver for the Colts. And obviously, Tyler Warren is a top target for the team overall. But just looking at Pittman, I think he's established himself as the number one receiver with Daniel Jones. 8 targets in week 1, and even in a blowout win, 5 targets last week. Almost had a touchdown in that game. Should have had one, but it didn't get it. Finished with 4 for 40. And then last week, got the touchdown, 6 targets, 81 yards in another blowout game. When the Colts are going to actually have to play close games and they're throwing, I think Pittman will see even more volume, leading to more production. The offense looks serviceable now, like legitimate, not fluky or anything like that. So him being a top target on an offense that's kind of flowing the way it has been, I think it's something that's here to stay. He's not putting up crazy numbers, but I think it's solid and somebody that you can count on a week-to-week basis.
I put my name down this for a certain reason.
Because you didn't want me talking about him.
No, that has nothing to do with it.
Danny Dimes MVP, boy.
That's a whole nother subject. This is about Pittman, not about Danny Two Nickels. I was not in on him, and I should have been.
I wasn't in on him either.
Partly because I was in on another guy named Downs, and Downs hasn't really done much yet. But what scares me is Pierce is being, not saying Pierce is startable, but like Pierce, if you have Pierce in best ball, he's perfect for best ball right now because he's going to get you those games. Pittman is being consistent. I think he might fade a tad bit once Warren gets even more into this attack because Pittman's not the deep ball guy. That's more Pierce and, whatever. But Pittman is consistent. That's what Daniel Jones needs. He needs a consistent target. Like you said, he's not having these spike games, but he's that guy that'll be that consistent floor. And that's what he needs that's what they need as a team. But that's also what, if he's your WR3 or, because you're probably drafting him as WR or like a flex in like a league that's 2 wide receiver. Most of my leagues are 3 wide receiver now, but if you're in a 2 wide receiver, 2 flex league or something like that, and he is one of your flexes, it is perfect. Let's just bring it up now since we're still on the Indiana talk. Daniel, Indiana, 2 Nickels, Danny Dimes Jones, a.k.a. the Dimesman.
Indiana Jones, all of this foolishness.
I know. Danny, 10 pennies. I mean,
This
Oh
one's
God.
the best.
Yeah, let me bring it up. All right, then you got this guy over here saying Danny Dollars.
So
All right.
it's weird. I just want to say one thing. It's weird that seeing him actually throw the ball downfield deep. That's not what he normally did, but he's doing it. And it's actually working. You mentioned Alec Pierce. He's hurt. He's going to be out, I think, for a few games. So Donnie Mitchell can step into that role. So he still has a target deep.
Can he? We don't know. He hasn't stood out since he played for Texas.
Preseason, he had some great separation. They were comparing him to one of the best separators. So we'll see.
Preseason, come on, Jamie. You know better than that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Jordan, speaking of a college standout and a preseason talk about guy, who's your fake?
So this guy's a fake for me. Doesn't mean though that he shouldn't be on the radar for waivers. But I'm gonna go with Luther Burden. I think his snap percentage over the first 3 games have been 27% week 1, 18% last week, and then 29% against the Cowboys. Turned it into 3 targets for 101 yards and a touchdown. Obviously, the touchdown came on a flea flicker against the sorry Cowboys defense that was sleeping. So I don't know if you can count on that much. I think the Bears' offense is obviously improving in the past game, but I just think the same problem that I had with the offense at the beginning of the season is still there. Too many mouths to feed. Colston Loveland, he got hurt even though he had like one of the first targets of the game and then didn't see the ball after that. DJ Moore isn't getting the target volume that we're used to seeing him get. Roma Dunze is there. They still have Cole Kmet. They have Swift. So until his snap percentage gets a little higher, I'm going to believe he has this potential. But when you're playing less than 30% of the snaps, you can't really rely on that on a regular basis, in my opinion. Zacchaeus is still there, getting a few targets here and there. So I think he'll eventually surpass him for that number 3 role. But a number 3 role on this team, that's not going to provide consistent production that you're looking for on a week-to-week basis. So he'll be boom or bust. Maybe you play him during bye weeks later in the season if he continues to ascend in the playing time. But for now, speculative add and waivers and see what happens.
Jamie, what do you think about
Yeah, no, I love the guy. I think he's very talented. I do agree. This week, it's a real in a way that it's a look into his future, but it's a fake because it's not going to happen this year, week to week. You can't rely on him, but going forward, like in Dynasty, man, this gives hope. I know a guy, JT Brew, said that he's actually thinks Burden is more talented than Odunze, and he's a huge college scout. So I kind of took that with a grain of salt. But no, I love Burden. I think he's going to have a great career. It just might not be this year. But this week, I actually did play him in a league. I put him in my lineup intentionally because I thought he had a good matchup and they would have schemed some kind of a play for him, and it worked out.
Wow. Okay. Now, all right, roll. I know Jamie is wanting to talk about this guy, so why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, my reel for this week is I did kind of sneak him in there, that little anecdote I gave, but my reel is the New York Giants running back Cam Scatterboo, who was the RB6 half PPR in week 3 with 21.1 points, building on a pretty solid week 2 breakout, 12.9 points. I mean, I think we just saw from Cam Scatterboo everything we want from a fantasy football running back. That's just obviously the size, the red zone usage, and the 8 targets. It's kind of funny to me that Cam Scatterboo and Devon Achane seem to have identical usage with that kind of target share and just like diametrically like opposite builds of players. But man, with Tyrone Tracy out 2 to 4 weeks with dislocated shoulder, I think the runway's clear for Cam Scatterboo to really take off and be a weekly starter and potentially, dare I say, a league winner for fantasy football leagues this year. Jackson Dart, the QB change. I mean, we'll have to see how the dump offs go. That's actually one thing that I'm kind of just actually adding in right now that I didn't think of before. But the dump offs from Russell Wilson may not be as prominent with Jackson Dart, who was maybe more likely to scramble and take off. But I also think Jackson Dart will bring in a few more run lanes for Cam Scatterboo. At the end of the day, this might be more of a dynasty take, but I just also love the name brand value of Cam Scatterboo. He's already like, whether it's a meme, whether it's a hero, I think I see like posts that call him America's RB1. Like, there's going to be a lot of buzz just because of who like Cam Scatterboo is. Like, again, Dynasty Kyle, Jamie, and I, we always talk about artificial dynasty value, like propping up players. This is a guy that everyone's going to be talking about. I do think this is a true breakout, and he's going to be a fantasy star for the rest of the season. And I mean, he's just so fun to watch, man. I'm like obsessed against Hanabu right now.
All right, like I said to Raul earlier, Jamie, will you talk?
So I was 100% against Cam Scatterboo coming into the year. I just didn't think his chaotic style would translate to the NFL. And he even said it himself. Scatterboo said, I was born 20 years like too late. Like he would have been perfect for that ground and pound type of running back. But they're going to bring it back into this offense. And I think he's going to score points. He's definitely someone I'm going after right now. I'm going to go out and try to buy him, see if I can plug him in as an RB2. And yeah, go after him, man, because there's no one else behind him besides Singletary. Like, are you really scared of him? Like, he lost his job to Tracy. So they brought in Scatterboo to replace, that like Tracy kind of maybe in the future. But yeah, I like him.
Jamie, why don't you answer J-Man's question real quick?
If I could see it, I don't have my glasses.
Who has a higher ceiling, Scatterboo or Hampton?
Oh, Hampton, 100%. I want to talk to Hampton.
Yeah. I do want to say, like, Cam Scatterboo, like, maybe wasn't talked about at like as much as it really we needed credited, but like he is truly like a receiving threat. He was one of the most productive college running backs at catching the ball. To answer the question, though, I think
you got to remember it was 1 year.
Yeah.
But it was a phenomenal year.
Yeah,
catching
100%.
the ball, right?
Huge year.
Yeah. But to answer the question, I also agree it's Hampton, and that's just more purely like talent-wise, yes, but also an offense call. I think the Chargers offense is going to be like closer to top 5 and Giants closer to bottom 5. So I think Hampton.
All right. Kyle says, with so many teams playing two wide safety coverage shells, could you agree that Scatterboo is arriving in the NFL at the perfect time?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
All right. So, Raul, the three of us have talked a lot about this team's wide receiving core in the past 3 years. So it's just perfect that you want to be part of the team. So go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I am initiating myself into the fantasy cheat sheet, I suppose, for this topic. I do want to say fake with a question mark in parentheses, because I don't know if I've actually made my mind up yet. I'm looking to your bright minds as well, but I do want to talk about Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr., who is the wide receiver 51 in points per game so far. After being drafted as like a 1-2 turn pick, he's got 6 catches on 25 targets. This is the worst catch rate of any wide receiver with 25 plus targets since the year 2000. Only 28% of his targets have been caught. He's been shying away from contact. He's been very poor against zone coverage. But where I do hesitate is it's not just been all BTJ himself. Of the 25 targets, only 11 of them have been catchable from Trevor Lawrence himself. Expanding the offense, it's just not BTJ who's dropping the ball. You're seeing Travis Hunter do it. You're seeing Travis Hunter not know where to line up. ETN's dropping the ball. I'm really looking at Liam Cohen, who I've really been talking a lot about as one of the brighter offensive minds, play callers in the league. I'm looking to him to simplify the offense, started getting more manufactured design targets out of Brian Thomas. That's where you really saw when he broke out last year. Yes, with Mac Jones, but he was really, his floor is being kept up by screens, end arounds, jet sweeps. And we also know like he has that penchant for an explosive play. He really set up what ended up being the game-winning score with a 50-yard crossing route. Like he I honestly thought he was going to take it to the house there, but he has that ceiling, and I will tend to be on the side of I think this is fake. I think this is a buy low. I think it's a great opportunity to get in on Bryce Thomas Jr. They just came out of, at the end of the day, still a tough matchup against the Texans D. Now go into San Francisco without Nick Bosa, who unfortunately we don't play that side of the ball in this show, but out for the year with his ACL. I think Brian Thomas has to be a buy low because of the ceiling he has showed in his time in the NFL.
All right. Before Jordan goes, I have to put this up because this is just such a comment.
I was
The answer
definitely,
is no. We are not talking more about Mac Jones.
that is incorrect because I was definitely about to bring him up. So I never thought that I would have to say that a wide receiver needs mac and cheese as his quarterback
But
because Brian Thomas
yep.
needs mac and cheese back in Jacksonville. Like it's the connection with Trevor Lawrence is non-existent. Whether that's part of Trevor Lawrence just sucks, possibly is the problem. Or I've seen things about Thomas dealing with a wrist injury. He's
Mhm.
never on the injury report, but he has a nagging wrist injury, allegedly.
Yep.
Like it's bad. Like you mentioned, the targets are uncatchable. He's short arming catches,
Mhm.
or like the effort isn't there. It's a lot of problems overall. With that offense, and I think it starts with Trevor Lawrence to me. I would like to buy low on Thomas, and I think you can probably get him for dirt cheap right now. Well, not dirt cheap, but I think you could get him for a lot cheaper than you paid.
Mhm.
And if he stinks up the joint against San Francisco, then you probably really could get him. But I don't know how long you wait for it to happen because unless Mac, I hate to say this, but Mac Jones isn't coming to save the day. So
Oh
like
my God.
Nick Mullins is the backup quarterback if they ever decided to move on. But like I don't know what to do with him. I have him on like a couple teams, but I'm benching him until he
Mhm.
shows me something. Like I'll listen to offers, but like I can't play him right now until they show me that they can get this offense going overall.
Yeah, and so I agree with you 100%. This scares me because I have too much Brian Thomas. Well, not too much, but I have Brian Thomas in the leagues that mean the most to me, and that does not bode well.
Yeah.
So, from one AFC South team to another, it is time for my reel, and my reel is none other than the rookie standout 2 years ago from the Ohio State, CJ. Yes, CJ Stroud. Jamie. Here's why it's real. Is because he sucks. And he's not proving that he's good. That flash in the pan, I'm not gonna say flash in the pan yet because he's still only third year. That rookie year, I remember saying it on the show to sell last offseason that after that rookie win, everyone's like, oh, he could be the number 2, number 3 dynasty quarterback. I remember saying, get rid of him now if you still have him. Not because he wasn't going to have a good sophomore year. I just said that his ceiling was capped out and the value wasn't going to go any higher than it already was. So you might as well get out while you can. Unfortunately, I'm in a league that I was not able to get out while I could. And my 2 quarterbacks are him and Trevor Lawrence.
Oh,
But Jamie, you know exactly which team this is because the only thing holding me up, guys, my running backs after last year's draft, my running backs are Caleb Johnson, Omari. Last year, my starting quarterback or running back last season was Kenny Gainwell. Last season, he was a starter. But I got Kenny Gainwell, Omarion Hampton, Caleb Johnson. Here's the thing. My wide receivers, it's start 3, 2 flex. Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, Zay Flowers, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr.'s, Malik Neighbors, and there's one more. Oh, Jameson. So I'm literally having to sit one of them every week, and they're the only thing holding that team into bleed. But back to CJ. He was the 25th ranked quarterback this year or this game. With who I listened to you, Jamie, all Sunday morning talking on the show with Topher, and I know how you feel about this wide receiver anyway. Nico Collins, wide receiver 6, only produced a quarterback 25. How sad is it when you can produce a wide receiver 20 or a 6th ranked wide receiver, but you are the 25th quarterback? Here's what's scarier, Jamie. This is what's scary. In points per game, right? So that's including like Mariota playing one game and all that. CJ Stroud is ranked 32nd in the league. The only starters, I'm not considering Mariota a starter. The only starters that are worse than him in points per game, Michael Penix Jr., Joe Flacco, and Cam Ward. I'm not including Burrow because Burrow got hurt. Jamie, I know how you feel about Nico Collins, but is his quarterback toast?
I don't want to say toast. I mean, it's not burnt yet, but it's getting there. I mean, he has more interceptions than he has touchdowns. Am I correct? I think he
Yes.
has 3 interceptions, 2 touchdowns all year.
You'd be
He's
correct.
He's not taking those deep ball shots like he should. It's just his offensive line. I know isn't the best. He's getting pressured a good amount. Maybe that's the issue. But I mean, they surrounded him with quality receivers. They have Nico. They brought in Christian Kirk, who we know could be decent in the slot, and they brought in Higgins, and then also Jalen Noel. So they're bringing in the weapons for him. So is it the run game that is not opening him up stuff for the passing? Maybe. But you're right, dude. As soon as, 2 years ago when he was considered Keep Terry Cut, had him at QB1.
Yeah.
I sold every single share I could of him. I was like, there's no way he's going to be QB1. And got some great deals out of that. But if you have him now, you just have to hold him and just hope he bounces back. And then as soon as he gets into that top 10 again, maybe try to sell him because I don't think it'll be sustainable. Like this week, I had Nico Collins. You heard me on Sunday. He was my, I think, 4th or 5th overall wide receiver. And then just because of that, my brain put CJ Stroud at 10 or 11. I can't remember where, but it was 10 or 11.
Yeah,
You can't do that. You can't just because of a receiver that's going to be top 5 doesn't mean the quarterback is also going to produce.
Yeah, the reason
that was my fault.
Yeah, because there is a reason you're put on this sheet. There's a reason you put on the sheet because you made a proclamation that you guaranteed that CJ Stroud would be a top 10 quarterback.
It was a good matchup, man. Like you thought he was going. It was Jacksonville. Come on, man. Like who can't be a top 10 quarterback versus Jacksonville?
CJ Stroud.
Well, now we know. So he's
all right.
He's droppable, man.
Oh yeah. So to my fake, this game bugged me so much. Ramondre Stevenson, hold on to the ball, even though he's not my player. I still have to say those words. So my fake is actually the tight end one on the week.
Ooh.
Hear me out. It's not because I know you love the guy. Hunter Henry, tight end one in full PPR. He ended up with 29 points, 1.9 points ahead of Mr. Mark Andrews, who ended up with 27.1. Here's the thing. Since 2019, he's had one game close to this at 25 points. A couple years further back, he did have a game at 30 points. Last year, his highest was at 10.8, I believe. I just looked it up, but I can't remember the exact. This week, 8 receptions, 11 targets, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I just don't think this is sustainable with the Patriots. I do think he'll have weeks where he'll get a touchdown. If they can get the running game going and put the right running back in the game, all 4 of us know who that person is. Mike Vrabel still hasn't figured it out who the right running back to play in this game is. I'm about to put Jamie on mute for a second. So, I actually am going to put him on mute for a second. Okay. There is wide receivers that should be getting the ball, but not named the one that Jamie wants to say out loud. Okay. So there's wide receivers that need to score. Yes, that guy might need to score, but I'm muting Jamie so he doesn't say the magic word. But Raul, what do you think about me saying Hunter Henry is a fake? Do I think he can be low end 1, top 15? Yeah, but he's not going to me. This could be the last top 5 week of Hunter Henry's season.
Yeah. I mean, important clarification I think you had at the end, because I call fake for sure on Hunter Henry, the tight end 1, Hunter Henry, a top 5 tight end, but low end tight end 1, which in a lot of formats, you don't really need to do too much.
No.
I could be a low end tight end 1, if you get me out there on Sundays, but there is a certain wide receiver that we are now forbidden from mentioning on this show, but I would say of the wide receivers that are there in New England, the only one who has real true history of being a target earner or target hog is the 31-year-old coming off an ACL tear. He hasn't shown, Stephon Diggs hasn't shown that he's capable of doing too much this year besides being Cardi B's baby daddy. That might change it in a couple of weeks, in a couple of months, but Hunter Henry, man, I can't remember exactly the week that Drake May took over, but if I look at his game log last year, starting, he had games of 9 targets, 8 targets, 9, 8, 9, 8, all in a short span of time. Sometimes to me, he kind of feels like the Gabe Davis of tight ends, where he'll look great on the waiver wire, plug him into my lineup, and then he goes to 2 targets, 0 receptions, and not a lot, but certainly as a top 5 asset, call fake. Keep him. But he could have relevance. He could have relevance, right? It doesn't take too much, and especially 2025's tight end landscape so far.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into it. We're done with real or fake. We're at the hour mark, but this is where we like to put our own spin on things. Jamie, it is time for Matchup Mania. Take it away.
Well, first, am I still on mute?
No.
Okay, good. So I wanted to highlight the Amika Buka versus Quinyon Mitchell. Amika Buka, so both these guys, they're very young. They're going to go head to head in this battle. This actually could swing the game. Abuka already flashed with touchdowns, big grabs. He's ready for the big role now with Mike Evans out. Jalen McMillan's hasn't been played all year. He's sidelined. And then Tampa is probably rushing Chris Godwin back a little bit too early before he's 100%. So this means Baker is going to try to lean on Abuka a lot. Now on the other side, you got Quinyon Mitchell playing like a seasoned vet. Like last year, 0 touchdowns allowed. He's very sticky in man coverage, closes the gap in zone like lightning, and he replaced Darius Slade. Now he's gone. He's going to be sliding into that lockdown role. He's really only allowed 10 receptions this year with a passer rating of 67 point something. And week 3, he shadowed Devontae Adams on almost 80% of his routes and locked him down. Just 2 catches for 12 yards on 5 targets to Adams while Mitchell was on him. Adams did see 3 other targets in that game, and he scored a touchdown on it. But here's the chess match. You got Abuka's smooth on slants and digs, right? Those routes can create early separation. But Mitchell, he closes those gaps with his speed, and that window is going to slam shut very quickly in a hurry. And the deep shots, that's very risky for Mitchell because like Mitchell tracks that ball very well, and he doesn't bite on those double moves. So Ibuka's going to have a hard time on those deep routes. So if this game script is going to matter, if Philly jumps out early, Tampa is going to have to throw, and that's going to be volume for Ibuka, but it also means more chances for Mitchell to make big game-changing plays. And for fantasy managers, Ibuka is definitely going to be a flex play, maybe a low-end wide receiver 2 this week, just on volume alone. But don't bank on that 100-yard, 2-touchdown blowout because Mitchell just doesn't give up big plays like that. So Tampa will need to scheme Ibuka into mismatches if they want him to break loose. Like I'm expecting Mitchell to stick to Ibuka most of the game, pretty much on the outside because Mitchell does not play in the slot, and Godwin is probably going to get most of that slot work. But since Mitchell never shadows in the slot, Ibuka plays 40% in the slot. Why don't you put Ibuka in the slot and then put Godwin on the outside as a decoy since he's not 100% healthy? Just saying, but realistically, like think about 4 catches, about 60 yards for Ibuka, and don't expect a touchdown against Mitchell. If he gets one, it will be on one of those mismatches. So just keep your eye on this matchup. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a battle, and it can actually decide the outcome of this game.
Jordan, do you want to go real quick of what you think about Ibuka and then jump into yours?
Yeah, I do think that that's an important matchup. Ibuka is going to be taken over as the number one target without Mike Evans there. So I'm interested to see how they have. The Eagles' defense shows that it can be gotten through the air. I mean, the Rams had some success with their receivers. So if Baker has enough time to throw, he should be able to find some guys that can get open. For me, I'm kind of following Raul's path the first couple of weeks and targeting the Bengals defense, targeting the Bengals defense. But for this, I'm seeing, I want to be right for the first time this season. So let's see how this goes. But I expect J.K. Dobbins to kind of run through the Bengals defense all the way to a top 10 finish this week. The Bengals are giving up like 29 PPR fantasy points to running backs per game. They faced the Jags, they faced the Browns, and the Vikings. We saw what Jordan Mason just did to them without any work in the passing game, which Dobbins isn't going to get too much work in the passing game. But he ran really well against the Chargers in his revenge game. I think he can carry that momentum into this. He's been solid all year as the number one ball carrier, playing majority of the snaps. I don't see that changing this week. I see him kind of having a lot of success. The Broncos defense kind of shutting down Browning and the Bengals offense, providing more opportunities. So I see him having a really big game on the way to the Broncos beating.
All right.
Well, can I ask you one question? Is RJ Harvey droppable in leagues?
No.
I think he might be.
This is still Sean Payton, man.
That's the problem is that's the problem.
And in this game, I believe that they'll have enough for him to be serviceable as well, like probably flex value, even in limited snaps. And so that'll be enough to kind of keep him on benches.
So keep him on your bench and just wait for the breakout, right?
Yeah, see what happens this week for sure. Like I said, I expect the running backs to kind of eat against the Bengals defense, like both of them. But I think Dobbins will be the top guy out of those. But if he doesn't do anything, or like his snap percentage is still around in the 20s or the teens, then you may think about possibly cutting bait. But for now, hold on for him, at least for this week for sure.
All right, so it is time for Raul's Boom or Doom.
That's right.
So,
we had some mixed results. Oh, go
one
ahead.
thing. I want to set you up on this.
Mm-hmm.
Your boom almost was one of my real or fake.
Ooh.
And you can probably guess which one. Because this running back had a tough beginning of the season, but what's going to happen now?
I think we're on the same page there, Mike. I'm looking for Josh Jacobs of the Green Bay Packers to have a boom game up against the Dallas Cowboys. I think Sunday Night Football, Micah Parsons' big return should be a highly anticipated game. But look for this Packers offense to bounce back. Some might say it's actually a timely loss against the lowly Cleveland Browns. It's get that out of your system, get that motivation back up, and I think they're gonna run all over the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, we'll be missing C.D. Lamb. Obviously, we'll be missing Micah Parsons, who plays for the other team. But what I'm looking to see, like I do think it's a boom game just on the ground, but I'm looking to see if Jacobs' uptick in targets continues. He had 9 against the Cleveland Browns in a game that Tucker Kraft was banged up. Jaden Reed obviously is out for the long-term injury. Will that continue? It's something that's maybe been that one, weakness in Josh Jacobs' profile, as he's been a consistent RB1 year in, year out. But I think it's finally going to be a ceiling game. He's kind of been in flirting with high-end 2 numbers so far, and then only 9 points in half PPR. But I think I could see a multi-touchdown, 100-yard game on the at least on the ground, and very curious to see if that targets continue, because that would make us really readjust our projection of Josh Jacobs. But what say you, Mike, on that boom call there?
Oh, I think that is an absolute boom. I was going to say Josh Jacobs was fake in the sense of him not performing as of the first few weeks, but looking at their schedule coming up. But for gosh sakes, not to keep bringing up old things, even though he's no longer a starter in the league. Russell Wilson threw for 400 and freaking something yards on this defense. Freaking this defense is like the epitome of dumpster fire poo-poo. And I mean, the whole team is going to be having a good time. They're mad that they lost. Parsons is mad about the whole thing. You're going to have fans, green and gold travel. You're going to have fans cheering, "Thank you, Jerry," in his own goddamn stadium. Yes, this is a boom. So, Raul, who's your doom?
Man, I'm feeling real bad vibes about this one. I'm fading Kyler Murray of the Arizona Cardinals against the Seattle Seahawks. This is a Thursday night football game. I don't really want to be looking at a single-digit game all week heading into the matchups, but man, I'm really worried about Kyler. Yet to finish as the top 15 quarterback this year. Now faces an up-and-coming Seattle D. Jamie, you've talked a lot about how much you like this Seahawks defense under Mike McDonald. Short week, no James Conner. I'm really curious to see whether this changes, how that offense kind of functions. It's really been running on the back of the big man. But I just gotta see that, like, yeah, Kyle Senra, our co-host on the Dynasty Six Pack, he really does. He was very high in Kyler Murray, so we'll have to grill him about that tomorrow, Jamie. But I'm very curious to see how this offense starts to function without James Conner. I could foresee them in a lot of situations that they're behind the chains. Like Trey Benson has explosiveness, but maybe not the consistency from down to down, at least not just yet. We'll have to see. Tyler has not shown like that he could be a ceiling play just yet. 2 passing touchdowns the first game, and then 1 and 1 in the second and third. Has been rushing a little to prop up that floor, but not really too much in the red zone. It really could necessitate a system change, like more shots, like we saw a young Kyler Murray take. When honestly, one of my preferred, like a player that I really liked, and now I'm just like tearing my hair out whenever I watch him play. But at least for week 4, Thursday night, Seattle, I would avoid Kyler Murray in this game. I'm foreseeing a doom for Kyler Murray in week 4.
Jamie, since I saw your comment and the grin on your face, will you give a quick thought about this?
Yeah, I see. I think we're going to see better days for Kyler, but it's not going to happen right now, and it's not going to happen this week. So, 100%, I agree with Raul, but I also agree with Kyle. He could still be a good quarterback going forward.
Let me ask you this, Jamie. Would you play, because I have Kyler in a redraft league, and would you play Kyler Murray or Brock Purdy if he comes back against the Jaguars?
I'd play Mac Jones over Kyler Murray. So that should answer your question.
I guess, yeah. With this matchup against Seattle, who I really like their defense. Great comment from Kyle right there. But I am worried about him this week, man.
All right.
Woosa.
Ooh. Who we getting for the rant of the week?
All right. I can't believe I'm ranting about this, not because it's a topic that doesn't need to be ranted about, but the fact that it's about an enemy team. I don't normally talk like I don't normally say why is an enemy team of the Kansas City Chiefs messing up, because it's okay that they mess up, but they're messing up for my fantasy teams. They're messing up for a player. They're messing up for they're just messing up. And here's the thing: you're going to hear me use a lot of my keywords, Jordan. The keywords that make you laugh are going to be used in this: poo poo, dumpster fire, bend and shatter. Las Vegas, I'm talking about you, dumbasses. More importantly, I'm talking about a few certain people. Pete Carroll, you might as well go back to the senior center and stay there, because there is nepotism all over this league. We see it all over. You got the Indianapolis Colts with the new owner freaking on the field. That's a whole nother subject. You got freaking Jerry Jones with Stephen Jones. You got in Vegas, you got Mark Davis and freaking Al Davis. You got all this. Do you guys know who the O-line coach is for the Las Vegas Raiders? His name is Brendan Carroll.
Wonder who he's related to.
Okay. Guess what else he does? He's the run game coordinator. That ain't going well. Okay. Powers Johnson and this offensive line was not a horrible offensive line in 2024. They weren't great, don't get me frickin' wrong, but they weren't horrible. I would put them under the category last year of bend and don't break, not poo-poo. Here's the problem. They moved Powers Johnson from center and moved everyone around. They even brought Kappa in from Bengals, and he ain't not good as a backup. Okay? Only two players with the same offensive line. Well, with two players, five offensive line, obviously. Two players are playing the same position as last year. That's it. Okay? When I get into a couple of these stats, you're going to go, oh, shit. Okay? Colton Miller, we're talking PFF for a second. Their base grade for an offensive lineman is 60. Colton Miller at 82.6, which is good. That's 22.6 points over the baseline.
Mm-hmm.
And Jordan Meredith at 62.6 are the only Vegas Raiders over the 60-point baseline mark for PFF. That's it. They moved Jackson Powers. He's not doing good as a guard. Last year he was center. This year he is playing, I have up there thingy, he's playing right guard. So Meredith, Parham's not doing good. You got Powers Johnson at right guard. Glaze is not doing good. He's might as well just eat glazed donuts the way he seems like he's playing. He's an offensive lineman. He probably eats like half a dozen a day.
Thanks.
But here's the problem. The running back, Mr. Ashton Genty. I'm giving credit where credit is due. Everyone knows who this guy is. Ian Hartitz. Great source of information. Percentage, this is a tweet on September 22nd, so yesterday. Percentage of rushing yards to come after contact among all running backs with 100 rushing yards this season. This is in percentages, okay? Not in order, but these are percentages. Kamara, 64%. Jacobs, 92%, which is kind of high. Christian McCaffrey, 72% after contact. Bucky, 69. Chuba, 65. Walker 68, Brees 74. Ashton Genty, 100% of his yards are after contact. He has been hit at the line of scrimmage 56% of the time and behind the line of scrimmage. He is 4th in the league with 13 broken tackles. And this guy is your run coordinator? And I've already saw something earlier today that said that he's already getting into it with Chip Kelly because Chip Kelly wants to change things around and Pete Carroll is giving his son the authority on the offensive line where they and what they do with the run game. You hired Chip Kelly from Ohio State, who won the national championship, to be the offensive coordinator. Let the poor man do his job so this offensive line, and I turned my camera back, I went back to the camera so I can see Jordan's face. This offensive line is dumpster fire. There's going to be a steaming pile of dog poo-poo in 1 more week. God awful. Jamie, you brought it up earlier, not even knowing this was on the show sheet. You said what at the beginning of the show about Amari and Hampton compared to Genty.
Yeah.
This is the exact reason you're right. Unfortunately, this has nothing to do with Genty's talent. People are like, oh, he couldn't do it because of Boise State, all this and that. 13 broken tackles and all that. He can't even get to the 2-yard line not getting touched. Jackson Powers, Austin Powers, I don't care who you are, block! The rant is over.
All right, we do have a question in the chat.
You put it up.
I put it up. So I just do want to start with, we do have a start-sit show. It's a little bit early in the week right now to do start-sits. I don't think any of these guys are playing Thursday. So I do recommend coming back to the Going for Two start-sit show. And we'll answer this question, but we're going to hit it right now real quick. So we have Kamara, Judkins, Benson, Hubbard, and Pollard.
And Mason.
Start 4, bench 2. So let's bench 2 out of these guys.
Pollard and I want to say Kamara, but
it's so bad.
Who are the Panthers playing this week? Panthers, Patriots. Ooh.
Yeah, I want to say Kamara. Kamara is playing against the Bills. It's maybe another blowout like it was.
I agree with Kyle though. Mason is a must start. Mason's a must start.
Yeah, Mason is my 1 over all these guys. So Mason is a start.
To me, Hubbard's a start.
For me, Kamara is probably my 2nd option.
I think sit Pollard and then it's between Benson and Hubbard to sit.
I got Hubbard my 3rd, Benson my 4th. Pollard's right behind.
I want to get Quinshon in there, man.
I do too, but it's the Browns. Can you really trust the Browns?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I guess tune in a little later this week, Sam. You have a lot of great options. I definitely said Pollard because of the Texans matchup.
Well, the question is, Sam has to decide about Benson before Thursday. So,
well, no, I would definitely start Benson, right?
Yeah.
Is he a start?
Okay, so then that leaves Judkins or Hubbard, I guess.
Yeah.
No, Pollard or Judkins.
Oh, no, Pollard is a sit. Pollard is a sit.
We're saying Pollard's there's one of the must.
Yeah, Pollard's a sit, so it's between Judkins and Benson.
Judkins playing against the Lions, that's tough.
But he did do it against the Packers.
That's true too.
Yeah, well, man, that is tough, man.
I
agree. Bench Judkins against the Lions.
Yeah.
Or is that a question mark?
He was asking.
Oh, I mean, it's the Browns, dude.
The only thing I'm watching about Hubbard is Rico Dow, and this could have been the blowout nature of that game as well. But Rico Dowdle got quite a few touches, quite a few. He got the red zone carry as well. I gotta look at the target split, but I was seeing some stats about the Hubbard usage declining a little bit. So I definitely look into that. But
Yeah, Kyle's saying I'm kind of thinking that's the move. Judkins looked good last week, but that's not sure how he'll do against Detroit.
Yeah.
It is tough, man, but you have good options. So
Really good
Yeah.
options. Like I would actually make a trade. Like trade one of these guys for a receiver to upgrade your receiving core, or if you need a tight end or a quarterback.
try to get rid of Pollard if somebody wants him before Tajay Spears gets
Trust
back.
me, Sam. This is a good move. I'm in a league that I have to decide if I'm starting Kenny Gainwell. Okay.
I mean,
So
all these
you have-
guys
you-
are in my top 30.
You have a
So
good-
yeah,
I mean, if this is a 10-team league, you're in a good spot. Even if you make the wrong decision.
Let's go here. It is time for people to start pointing. All right, go support our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Right now, obviously there is best ball during the year, but year-long best ball. If you do best ball in the offseason, it's an 87.333% chance that you're in a league with Jamie. Go support. Use the promo code GF2 and get up to $1,000 in bonus bucks. There is pick'ems, hires, lowers. Now they change it up. Where in California, I know that you can actually pick the game winner now. It's just called half win or not. That's how they get away with it. So go ahead, use our promo code capital GF2 and go get up to $1,000 in bonus bucks. We're gonna get straight into the waiver wire if I can do my job right over here. All right, Jamie, who is your waiver wire cheat of the week?
Well, Trey Benson should already be owned, obviously, but I've noticed that he's not owned in all leagues. So if he's available, you need to pick him up, especially with the James Conner injury. He's just your priority ad. But Tyquan Thornton, is he still on your waivers? Yes. I've noticed he's only owned in 7% of my leagues or fewer, honestly. And the first 2 weeks, he ran 75% of the snaps. And after last week's touchdown, he should have been on your radar already. This week's, he had 9 targets and another touchdown. So Tyquan Thornton is a true field stretcher. And Patrick Mahomes is going to keep finding him deep. So grab him before it's too late.
Yeah, let's see. Jordan, do you have any quick thoughts about Mr. Tyquan?
No, I think he's good for now. I guess I want to see how things shape up when Worthy's healthy, Rashee Rice comes back. But for now, we're a couple of weeks away from Rice coming back, so I think Thornton still has some value for now.
All right. I think you
yeah,
have 1, 2, 3. So take it away.
I would just throw some names out, but I guess
No, you're good. You're good.
the top guy, I mean Trey Tucker, obviously, a guy puts up the numbers that he did, and he's on waivers. I guess you got to pick him up just to be sure. He's had 8 targets the last 2 games. Mike just eloquently stated the problems the Vegas Raiders have. So I mean, I guess giving Trey Tucker all these targets instead of Brock Bowers is another one of those problems. But that's Geno slinging the ball around. He's a deep threat. He's been successful. He's not going to get 3 touchdowns every week, but you chase the targets, so he's been getting them. Kirk Cousins, a speculative ad in Superflex leagues. He played the last couple of drives. I think the last 2 drives of the Falcons game after Penix got benched. Something to keep an eye out for. And then lastly, Tajay Spears going to be coming off of IR next week. So just kind of beating the waiver wire, like beating everybody in your league on that. If you have space and you can stash someone really quick, grab him up, because Pollard hasn't been as effective as I thought he would in this time to kind of have the role to himself. So I think he's opened up the door for Spears to kind of share some more of that work. So I think he's worth picking up as well.
Now, before you go, Roll, I have something to say. Jordan, didn't we learn last year to not ride the Pollard bandwagon?
So
No, we didn't. We're the same boat. I'm disappointed too.
Man.
No, we didn't.
we
But
did.
I'm telling you right now, we have to make a pact right now from across the country that next year we are out. Okay.
Yeah, he could. I don't know what would have to happen for me to be in. Like, unless maybe he played for the Lions, but other than that, I don't know.
The
Can't
Chiefs
be in.
offense can't even give him a hand.
And real quick, I want to give a shout out to that Kirk Cousins because there is also scenarios where he could go to another team looking for a quarterback like the Bengals, like I don't know, other teams, but still. In Superflex, that is a speculative ad, and it could gain value in the future.
Bro, why don't you take it away with your waiver wire?
This is certainly not the most flashy name, but Kareem Hunt just had a touchdown in prime time. Legitimately, if you think that Isaiah Pacheco is still worth rostering, then Kareem Hunt needs to be rostered as well because it's a pretty much a 50-50 split. Each of them gets their targets from time to time. Kareem Hunt, we could probably count on him to not like run backwards and away from the play and have Patrick Mahomes almost throw like 2 backward pass fumbles. Like, I don't even know what was going on with Pacheco there. Like, but the most important thing for fantasy football at the end of the game, Kareem Hunt was the one who got the 1-yard touchdown. I think that's worth honestly more than speculative. I think that's certainly worth an ad. And if Pacheco happens to go down, we saw what Kareem Hunt did last year. I do still think the Chiefs offense could get better as they get the Worthy back, as they get Rashee Rice back, could open up a little more run lane, and Kareem Hunt could be the one to profit certainly most. This guy he started him as his RB2 against me, and that touchdown buried me at the end. So, man, go take a look for Kareem Hunt.
I got a
So-
quick question for Mike and for Raul. Well, you everybody really. Is Pacheco droppable?
I give him one more week.
Yeah,
Dude,
I'd
if
hold
he's
him
the last guy, yeah, if he's the last guy on your bench, I'm fine. I'm fine cutting him. Man.
I'll say this. I'll bring this up. And this is what scares me. And when somebody, I think it was Raul, brought up about Baltimore and they need to show something coming up, I wanted to smack the person across the camera because they play the Chiefs this coming week and they can't show us because one of those teams is going to be 1-3 just because of the tough schedule. But here is our schedule for the next few weeks. Okay? We play Baltimore. Tough. Then we play Jacksonville. Then we play the Raiders, which is a division game. So you never know. And then we play Detroit. No, we play Detroit after Jacksonville. Then we play the Raiders. Then, before our bye week, the last 2 games are Washington Commanders and the Buffalo Bills. So in the next, before our bye week, we have to play division game, Lions, Ravens, Washington, and Buffalo. And that's only excluding one of those games against the Jaguars. So if he can't do anything in the next few games, I don't see it getting any better against Washington and Buffalo. And then after our bye week, we play Denver, Indianapolis, and then Dallas. And I don't think you want to wait till Thanksgiving Day to have Isaiah Pacheco have a breakout game in Dallas. Before we get out of here, the one player that I want to bring, I wasn't going to bring anyone up, but I thought we would have brought him up earlier just in discussion, but we didn't. Obviously, this is a deep, you're not going to play him right away, but you just want to see what happens with his offense. Sterling Shepard, Tampa Bay, with Evans being out, yes, Ibuka, but with McMillan being on the IR, not knowing when Godwin's coming back, he could be someone that if you need somebody, go pick him up. This is crazy because the 4 of us are in deep leagues, but my buddy came up to me at work today and asked me if he should pick up a guy who just came off suspension. And I said, yes, thinking because I thought he was talking about Demarcus Robinson and the 49ers being horrible with the wide receivers. He was talking about Jordan Addison. So if Jordan Addison is available in any of your leagues and you are not trying to pick him up tonight, go do so now because he is going to be available this week.
I mean, we're talking leagues where he was drafted in the 7th round, 6th round.
I'm aware.
There's
Trust
no
me.
way he's available.
He's not available in leagues that we play in. Casual leagues, maybe.
People are cut bait with anybody.
Yeah, I mean, they'll cut bait with anyone. All right, it's been a great show. We're at the hour and a half mark. All right, here we go. Hold on. We got a question from somebody. Raul, is Pacheco cuttable in a rest of?
Oh,
What's RSO?
it is Reality Sports Online. It's a salary cap format. Man, Kyle was the one who was supposed to give me the whole master class.
Yeah, so Kyle, you should answer this question, dude.
Wait, he has
Is
a
he
$9 million
testing me
cap.
This is Raul's first year in that league. You've been doing this for years.
Man,
So you
I
tell
told
him.
I told Kyle had a trade offer for me, and I told Kyle, like, hey, I need to learn a little bit more about this league before I can do any trade offers, man.
This dynasty?
I would call salary cap like a modified keeper because you have like a certain number of, you have 1 4-year contract, a couple 3-year, a couple 2-year, and the rest are 1-year contracts. There's auction. It's like, it's a whole thing. So Kyle is really tuning his own horn with this one, but
Oh,
man,
God.
Pacheco, I don't want Pacheco on any of my rosters. The cap hit part, I don't want to give you the wrong info. I think Kyle, you would probably know a little better than I do on that one, man.
Yeah, you're getting tested, man.
All right, so it's been a great show like always. Rants, crystal balls, matchups, and booms and dooms. But it's been a great show. Let's send it around the horn for sign-offs, and then we'll get out of here. Roll.
Yeah, great show again, guys. Thank you all, and thank you everyone for watching, sticking around with us. Like I said, down, up, down. Let's hope for an up week in week 4. Good luck, everyone.
The roller coaster continues. That is fantasy football. But everybody get those waiver claims in. Look for people that were hurt. Look for people suspended. Look deep on the waiver wires because there are going to be some gems out there tonight.
And not only is it Anthony Servino's birthday, RIP, brother, exactly 21 years ago today, Oceanic Flight 815 crashed on that mysterious island. And remember, Lost was basically just a long therapy session with smoke monsters. And we are still debating if that damn hatch was even worth opening. So stay curious, stay caffeinated, and remember, the world might be messy, but your fantasy football takes don't have to be.
That was very Aaron Rodgers-esque, but continue.
All right. All I know is you know where to find me. It's been a great show. Crazy week. Hopefully another good week. Hopefully it's a little tick up like Jordan and Roll said. It's just been wacky those next few weeks. Kyle says, think about it, Roll, and we'll talk. For Roll, for Jordan, and the Aaron Rodgers wannabe Jamie, it has been a great